Okay, so this is the start of the video. I'm eventually going to get to the part where I talk about loadout opinions and what guns you should use, but for right now, I'm just going to give all the new players that are probably going to show up in this game eventually, if you need a quick tutorial on what to do. There's some little tips you may not know. So for a gun, if you're whatever gun you're using, now don't mind this is in the future of the video. I just got done doing the first part of this, which was supposed to be the last part of the video. So, anyways, tips. When you run out of ammo and your bolt catcher right here is open, you can hold it right here and press on your trigger. It will immediately let go of it. Here, let me show you. Grab it right here, press the trigger. Boom, done. Can't do that normally with this hand. It will eject the mag instead. It's a pretty cool tip. I don't know how many people know that. Stims. These are 100% needed. And I'm going to continue saying this throughout the video. These are 100% needed. Stop not using these. You need them. You need them. Like, for instance, get shot. You get this little screen on your face. So you get the heartbeat. Open this up. Stab yourself with it, boom, you're ready to go again. You can take a couple more hits. You're not invincible, so do not stand out in the open like this. This is how you get shot. And I've done it before, and my friend yelled at me. Not a good day. Now, another thing to know is every time you spawn, do not forget to rack your gun. It does not do it for you. You will always have an empty gun to start with, so always remember to rack your gun. No matter if it's a shotgun, pistol,
now!
No matter if it's a pistol, a shotgun, or a rifle or a sniper, you have to rack it to get the case, one of the bullets inside, ready to be used. Or you'll be donezo. Now, I'm going to respawn real quick and show you another tip. For many people who don't really care for the military tactics and don't know much about military tactics, I would recommend, if you're gonna ever use a shotgun, I'd recommend always doing this to save your skin. Once you rack the gun, like that, always remember to put one more shell in. It will cost you a couple seconds instead of having to constantly. Excuse me, I don't know what's going on with me. Excuse me. Anyways. Always remember to rack your gun, but always remember if you're having a shotgun to put one extra shell in so you don't have to cost your life. And also, shotguns are pretty valuable in this game. You get a lot of shells. I mean, look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 16 shells plus the one I just used on the shotgun means there was 17. That's a lot for each pouch. Anyways, I'm going to respawn one more time, and I want to tell you a little something that might help out. Now, if you're playing milsim-wise, if you have a bunch of buddies who want to play this game with you, but you're not much into milsimming, but you want to get into milsimming, if they ever tell you to play a certain class or role, like a sniper, always remember to have a Glock 18 on you, because it helps out in situations which, like, the Glock 18's full auto. It helps. It really does. But snipers are pretty helpful in certain occasions, depending on what map you're using, like Abandoned Forest, or I think it was called Abandoned Forest, and then Server Snake. There is a couple places on the other maps besides Trident Lightning that have good sniper areas, but snipers are not very recommended unless you're doing 100% milsimming. If you want to help out from afar, you can use an LMG, like an RPK or whatever it was called. Now, I'm basically redoing the video I just made. I'm probably not going to even use that. But, anyways. SMGs, I'm going to be 100% with you. If you're doing any mission that's close quarter, like Trident Lightning or Hammerfire, use an MP7. It's the best one there. I recommend the most. This one people use a lot too. If you like that gun, you can use it. You can use any of these guns. I'm just pointing out the ones that you should probably use. Better to be safe than sorry, is what I say. Now, rifles. I definitely would recommend these two AKs. AM. I would recommend this whole roster right here, besides that one, if you really want a sight on your gun. But if you're good just by eyeballing it with your gun and you hit your shots a lot, then you can use that. But all of these guns here to here and here, 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 and here have lasers. These do not have lasers or sights. So just a quick reminder, if you want to use these guns, they are 100% only eyeballing it, because their iron sights are kind of bad. This one, not too bad. This one is kind of hard, but this one, it's eh. Now, I don't rarely recommend all of these. I recommend this one, this one, this one, but not these. If you use these, I do not like you, because they are bad. They suck. They really do suck. They're just that bad. But these guns, they're all right. I like them. Pistols, you can use any of them, but the HK is not my personal favorite. I wouldn't recommend this one though. It does not have much ammunition in it, and it will probably fade very fast. This is the Glock I was talking about. Now, shoulder utilities, you can use the snake camera if you're going quiet. The shield also if you're going quiet. But it's also, the shield's also kind of vice versa, because you could go run and gun with it without getting hit as much as you normally would. But you can still be hit, because the hole in the shield right there can be shot through. There is no glass in between that. So that's just a quick reminder. People can probably shoot you through the window hole if they're a sharpshooter. Sledgehammers are allowed utilities, so if you want to go in loud, use a sledgehammer. The breaching shotgun. Now, you really don't have to bring the breaching shotgun unless you are doing breaching, but you want a primary, like an assault rifle. But you can use a door knocker or a sledgehammer, which also, the door knocker is also a loud utility. Now, utility 1 and 2, if with the new update coming up soon, well, tomorrow, as of right now, I would always recommend having stealth shots on you, but the 9-baners and flashbangs I'd also recommend 100% with the new update coming out tomorrow, because these will be able to make some enemies surrender, but if they don't surrender, at that point, just kill them. Competitive timer, you'd never need that. I don't know why you would need that. Wire clippers are good for Void, which has a bomb defusal in it. Spider scope, the least you're going to need this for is if you're doing milsimming and you want to point out the enemies to your teammates. Breacher charges are good for hammer fire, which have some doors you can't open manually by butting it open. Flash grenades, like I said, are good for making enemies surrender in the new update. Smoke grenades, I don't really know what else you'd use them for besides putting down smoke to revive your teammates in the smoke. And then frag grenades. Now, if you really want to use frag grenades, I'd recommend being safe with them. The least you could do is go into hammer fire, tell your teammates that you're about to fight fire with fire on we're gonna call him Osama because that's basically who he is. You could take the frag grenades, pull the pins on them, pull them out of your utility pouches, and then run up to Osama with them both lit and ready to blow up, and then basically fight fire with fire. Now, I don't know if you really know this, but on hammer fire, you cannot shoot Osama in the chest because he has a bomb vest on. But that doesn't stop you from mission failure because it still means you killed him. So, you could still kill him by shooting him in the chest. It's just not recommended because if anybody else is in there with you, they're also going to die. Now, another tip. On hammer fire, or any of the missions that have C4 that you have to take and place somewhere, please do not be the person to take it and then set it and then make everybody die. I've experienced this way too many times, and it's kind of, it's more upsetting than you think it is. Like, I don't know how to really explain it. It's like, now yes, I'm a Quest player, and I'm giving up tips like I'm a PC VR player, but I did start off with PC VR. I'll be 100% with that. I started off with PC VR, and Quest players are, they're special. But I don't hate them. I don't hate them. There's some good ones, but not all of them are good. They don't act like they're playing a game that requires sufficient tactical knowledge and stuff. No, they play the game like it's Call of Duty. They shoot people all the time, they friendly fire all the time, and they also make the mission unbearable to do. So, if you're ever that person, I don't know what else to say, but stop. I know I ain't gonna stop you from being who you are. You probably get a kick out of that stuff. But don't do it. It ruins the fun for everybody else who's trying to have fun. And you'll probably end up getting kicked for most matches, which is not really fun because it takes a while for more matches to show up. And for me, matches don't show up until I wait after 20 minutes. And this is a complete real for me. I've experienced it. It's kind of bullcrap. But it only happens for me because I have slow internet, so kind of the perks of having McDonald's Wi-Fi. Anyways, on to the next things. Tips to killing enemies. If you want to get better aim, I'd recommend starting off with non-hardcore mode maps. Well, that just basically means don't go for the maps that have harder things to do. So if you're doing a match and you are the server owner, I would recommend doing the easy missions at first and always having your laser on because it helps out shooting when you can't really look down the sights. Now just to help out, if you want to learn how to look down the sights of the gun that doesn't have like any like sights on it, here's what you do. You line up that white dot perfectly, and that's where it goes. Now turn your laser on. Do you see where that white dot's going? White dot is at? And where the laser's at? Yeah, you're ready. So now you want to fire towards that position. You hit your target. It's easy as that. Now, it really shouldn't be hard to aim in this game, but if you are really good at this game and you've got a lot of stuff to play this game more realistically, like a virtual stock or weighted pistol grips and stuff for your controllers, it kind of makes the game more immersive and more fun. Now, I don't really rock the iron sights, but if there is one gun I'd rock the iron sights on all the time, it's one of the AKs, because they have some decent iron sights. Now, you probably won't agree with me, but I like them. Now, the MP5 iron sight. Worst iron sight I've ever used in my entire life. Can't hit anything with it. Even if it's a fucking SMG. Pardon my French. Now, I'm gonna do this real quick because I need to grab a new loadout, and I'm too lazy to just click the respawn button. That didn't work, so now I'm gonna actually click the respawn button. Now, so, if you want to get better at the close quarter battle parts of this game, I recommend going on either this map and just doing quick exercises like in this area over here or like right here. Like, so pretend this is a doorway. I know pretending is kind of childish, but pretend you have a gun. This is the doorway. You open up the door and then you look down the corners. Whatever corner you're facing is the corner you're gonna walk into. Now, I know that kind of sounds stupid, but if you do it on room randomizer, it makes more sense, but I'm only doing it here because, well, it fits better for a video that I'm doing. Anyways, if you are meal simming, I'm gonna go back to this again. Meal simming. I personally like doing this a lot. So, you're gonna, since there's six to 4 people on a team, you're going to split them up into groups. Alpha or Bravo, or depending on what you want to name them. You can name them Brain Rot. I don't really care. You got Chicken or Jockey. I don't care. Anyways, you want to break them up, but make them classified. So, that means classing them into certain things. So, like, for instance, you got the Shielder. The Shielder, without a doubt, has to have a shield, obviously. Has to have a pistol of his choice. Now, I personally don't. Personally will agree with those all the time, but for some people they don't. But you can have an SMG on you. But the SMG I'd recommend is either the MP9 or the MP7, but none of these, because you want small arms. Small arms. You want small arms. Now, if you want a breacher on your team, you gotta have them a door knocker, a sledgehammer, or the breaching shotgun. They can have whatever that gun they want. The other part you could have is an infiltrator, or just an infantryman, which has nothing special about them. Now, the infiltrator can have snake hammer, and then some flashbangs. But for every class, I'd recommend having some flashbangs, 9 banners, and health shots. Now, I know having just one utility that you could pull the pin on and throw into a room is not much, because you only get 2, but these, trust me, 100% worth having them, because they'll save your life. Now, another thing to know, comp timer, the comp competitive timer, comes with a stim, but you only get 1, and it takes up a slot, which ain't very useful, again. So, that's why I really don't recommend them, but the wire clippers do the same thing. They also give you an extra health stim. So, if you're defusing a bomb, you have an extra shot on you. Now, things about bombs. Now, here's the thing you might want to know. Bombs. I've done them before. They're hard. They are hard. That's why I recommend going into Room Randomizer and training yourself to do it solo, because I've seen people do it without even having to look at the instructions that you have to defuse a bomb. So, what you do is that you take, you find the bomb, you open up this little hatch, and then it starts a timer, and then on the screen, it flashes colors. Now you have to have someone on the other side telling you what color of wire you need to cut. Now, that means cutting all of the colored wires that are said to be cut, and then eventually you'll get all the wires cut, and then it just diffuses. I don't really know how it works, because I haven't done it that much, because of how hard it is, so I just kind of watch people do it. But, now, another thing is hostages. You're going to take your, whatever controller you're using. I was Quest, so this is not going to help out for PC VR players. So, you're going to take your thumbstick right here,
move it,
and that will tell an hostage to go to that area. Now, going up like this, that will make the hostage follow you. Now, going like this,
go there,
will make the hostage go there. So you ask him to follow you, and then you move him over here somewhere. Now, that's how it works. Hostages are also pretty hard to maneuver. I don't know if you've ever played this game. I'm just going to assume some of you have. Payday 2. Payday 2 hostages. When you take hostages, you have to move them to an area so they don't get killed by police or yourself. They're typically really hard to maneuver, and at that point, I really don't care about them. So, that's why hostages are not really an easy task. Now, if the Tactical Assault VR team is listening, I wish there was more hostage-related missions, like maybe the British Special Forces 747 mission hostage take, and you know. Anyway, so I think this is completely everything I could say at this point for what you could use. Like, attachments-wise, they're all good all around, but depending on what eye you look out the most, I'd recommend using these offset sights on snipers, more than likely. That is if you're using a SCAR and you have to use an ACOG sight as a sniper instead. Now, I really don't recommend that. Now, anyways, last thing I'm going to talk about here. Missions. If you're starting out and you're new to this game and you want to know what missions are good for you to start off on, excuse me again, I would do Hammerfire, Try to Lightning, Server Snake, and then what was that last one called? The first mission you'll see. And that's all the ones I could recommend to you at first. Hammerfire, not so much, but it's definitely a fun one that I would recommend giving a go, because it's pretty basic. But it is recommended to play with other people, because it has a lot of steps to it, and you have to have there's a lot of enemies to deal with, and basically that's it. But enemies-wise, there's only like 4 enemies that I know of. There's the basic infantry. One of them has a helmet on, making it harder to shoot them in the head. One of them has no armor at all. Some of them have armor. That's why you can also get them confused for actual players, because the way they are made. Then, there's technicals. Technicals are enemies on a truck, and the truck has a 50 cal machine gun on it. Now, I immediately would go for the machine gunner, because that's the one who's going to be doing more damage to you. Once you shoot the machine gunner, everybody will get out of the car, so that's when you want to take those guys out next. Now, I'd also recommend using your laser at that point, because whatever sight you're using may not be that good for the occasion. Now, I'm going to change my loadout back to what I would normally use, because I'm going to be doing a mission after this with some actual players. Anyways, I appreciate your time if you watch this entire video thoroughly to get some any decent information. You don't really have to like the video. If you want, you can. You can subscribe if you want, turn on the notifications or turn them off. I could care less. I'm only doing these videos for fun because they bring me joy. Anyways, have a good evening, a good night, or a good morning. Good day.